Listen up, gentlemen. Life is going to throw you curveballs. Life is going to knock you down. And sometimes it's going to knock you down over and over again, but you're not alone. Here are 6 battle-tested tips to help you maximize and optimize these life transition periods with confidence and growth. What's up, guys? Brian Whitworth here, back for another episode of Men Ascending Mastery. And for anyone that's new to my channel, welcome. For any returning viewers and listeners, I appreciate you being here. I really just want to provide as much value as possible to you guys. The whole reason I created this channel was really to help men evolve into the highest version of themselves, physically, mentally, and spiritually. I'm 32 now. Just from my lessons in my life, I really feel like I would be doing the world a disservice if I didn't share that. And, I've been going through a major life transition period myself the past 6 months or so. So, whether it's going to be moving to a new city, whether it's the anxiety of starting a new job, transition periods can be scary. And if you're like me, you might even find yourself in a dark place or maybe falling into depression. But this episode of Men Ascending Mastery is really going to hopefully equip you with practical tools to not just survive during these inevitable periods, but really to be able to thrive. So we've all felt stuck or lost during a major life change. So today I really just want to show you how to embrace the challenges of transition, use them for growth, and ultimately emerge stronger and more fulfilled. So we're going to cover overcoming fear, finding your purpose, and practical hacks to navigate what I call the transition fog. So transitions in life and feeling like you hit rock bottom. It's a recipe for anxiety. But what if I told you it could be your greatest opportunity for growth? You see, our brains are literally wired for survival. It's primal. Change disrupts the familiar, which triggers a fight or flight response. Our ancestors needed to be cautious in new environments to avoid danger. That's how this all goes back to our ancestors. And this translates today into fearing the unknown. Not knowing what's ahead can be scary. Failure, that's that fear of messing up that can hold you back. Loss of control, feeling like you're not in the driver's seat is unsettling. And maybe you're starting a new job and worried that you won't fit in. Perhaps you're moving to a new city and just dreading leaving your friends behind and having to start over and find a new social circle. Here's the key. Shift your perspective. Embrace a growth mindset where challenges that you're up against are seen as opportunities to learn and improve. Change can push you outside your comfort zone, and it will help you develop new skills and strengths. It can open doors to new experiences, careers, and relationships that you never imagined. Navigating change often leads to a deeper understanding of yourself and your capabilities. So what I want you to do is think about a time when you overcame a fear of change. What did you learn from it? Share your experiences in the comments below. I really would like to know what you guys have been through. So last fall, Atlanta was a whirlwind for me. Atlanta's where I lived half of my life, and it was crazy. I was financially strapped, to say the least. I was stuck in a chaotic apartment, and I was craving a fresh start. I knew I wanted to leave the city. I was kind of feeling like I wanted to leave Atlanta. I felt like something was pulling me to leave. But really, at the time, I wasn't in a position to leave my apartment and go start another lease somewhere else. It was a very rushed thing. I had about 30 days to leave because my apartment had a bunch of issues in the building. And long story short, I was able to break my lease, which was a blessing. But, I had limited savings. I had a few grand saved up. really the only option that I had, which I'm very grateful for, was going back and living with my parents in Mississippi. That was a safety net that I had. I mean, it's pretty hard to do that being 32 years old, having to go stay with your parents. I just, it was tough to do. It was really hard to do. My parents lived in Mississippi, and a small town. It was a brutal pace. Didn't have a lot of things I like to do, like the gyms that I like to go to, sauna, yoga. I mean, we're talking about Mississippi compared to Atlanta. Very, very different. For me, I was trading city life for a lot more downtime and a lot more time to just reflect. I also was in a bit of a transition period with my job that I was doing. I was working for a doctor and a YouTuber. Ended up kind of backfiring on me, but I learned a lot. So ultimately, I left Atlanta. I was financially drowning. I wasn't in a good spot. I was pretty lost. I was pretty desperate to find my way. I was honestly kind of thinking, and I had previously had a very stable job in sales, and I left that job for a job that was 100% commission. And I was having a tough time. I was in a really tough time. I spent 4 months applying to countless jobs, probably 500 jobs I applied for, endless interviews. And in my free time, I filled that time with doing online courses. I even traveled for interviews. It took me forever. And my bank account was dwindling, and I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know what was going on. I also had a gym injury that really slowed me down even more. But ultimately I started leaning on some crutches. I had old demons that started to creep back in. I previously quit vaping for like 4 months last year, and then I did it for almost a year again. I relapsed. I have another video on how to quit vaping as well, but I started leaning on the occasional porn use and, overeating, playing too much video games, just feeling like I was drinking a little bit more, really just leaning on these crutches, and all these demons started popping back up. Porn, vaping, all these things are causing a lot of shame and frustration. Depression started to sit in, lack of motivation, the whole nine. I just started escaping from using certain things to escape. And you see, this is where a lot of guys get stuck. We fall into unhealthy habits to cope with the stress and uncertainty. But trust me, there is a better way. So there's something that I identified called the fog of change. Imagine that you're driving through a thick fog. Your visibility is really low, and all the familiar landmarks are obscured. That's really what navigating major life changes can feel like. We experience this transition fog, which is it's a period of disorientation, confusion, and uncertainty. And it's completely normal. Here's why. Loss of routine / change in patterns. Our brains crave stability, and disruption is going to throw us off balance and makes us feel out of control. Number 2, fear of the unknown. The uncertainty of what lies ahead can trigger anxiety and self-doubt, which is what was happening to me. Loss. Even positive changes often involves leaving something behind, which can lead to feelings of grief. Now, here are some of those battle-tested tools I mentioned to navigate this fog and ultimately emerge stronger. Number 1, guys, is a gratitude anchor. So what you're going to want to do is start your day by actively listing things that you're grateful for, whether it's physically write it in a journal, or whether it's on your phone, in Google Doc, whatever. Whether it's big or small things, gratitude can shift your focus from what you lack to what you have. This could be as simple as, this could literally be as simple as just whip out your notes app on your phone and write down your family, your health, it, being a beautiful sunny day. Those are just 3 things, for example, that I would do, and it completely changed my perspective. Number 2, rekindle your spark. What I mean by this is reconnect with activities that you used to enjoy, but maybe you neglected those during a transition period, or maybe it's just been several years you were just caught up in the hustle and bustle, and it's been so long since you did those things. Reigniting your passions can boost your mood and energy and make you feel rejuvenated. I personally like to jog and write. I like to go outside. I like to write, express myself. Maybe you used to love riding your bike. Maybe it's painting, going to the gym, doing yoga. Perhaps you enjoyed theater and acting as a kid. I don't know. Get creative and just explore what sparks joy in you. We don't need to overcomplicate this. Just think about, what is it that you used to do that you really enjoyed? What did you like to do as a kid? Let that inner child out. Number 3 is seek spiritual connection. So during transition period, carving out space for self-reflection is absolutely crucial. So what I want you to do is schedule quiet time to disconnect from the external noise. This could involve meditation, journaling, spending time in nature. Even just a walk in a city park can help you reconnect with yourself. I lived in a pretty big city when I was back in Atlanta. I lived downtown in the middle of the city, and I would go to the park almost every day just to be in nature. So really, this quiet reflection is a doorway to your spiritual side. Being in solitude, reflecting, and really just explore practices that resonate with you. Whether it's prayer, spending time in a sacred space, or simply connecting with nature's beauty. Be open to new experiences and pay attention to your intuition. That gut feeling can be a powerful guide, literally the most powerful guide. There's a quote that I love, and it's one of the quotes that I live by. Let your intuition guide you like a compass. And as you explore within, notice recurring thoughts, dreams, or any kind of synchronicities, like meaningful coincidences that can offer guidance. You have to be open to it. Follow your passions is another powerful tool. Like activities that spark joy and fulfillment often connect us to a sense of purpose that transcends the everyday. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to spirituality, guys. I'm not going to tell you what to believe, that you have to do this, you have to do that. The key, though, is to find practices that really resonate with you and create a sense of connection to something greater than yourself. And at the end of the day, only you can determine what that truth is for you. One thing I can say for certain is whenever I ignored my intuition, I made the biggest mistakes, hands down. Number 4, guys, self-care. You have to remember the importance of self-care. Treat yourself with kindness and compassion. Get enough sleep, 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. Make sure you're getting quality rest. Move your body daily with daily exercise. Get your steps in. Eat healthy food. Nurture yourself. If you nurture yourself, you'll be better equipped to navigate the journey ahead. Prepare yourself for the next chapter in your life, guys. Number 5 is silence the inner critic. I am awful about this. You got to notice those negative self-talk patterns and challenge those thoughts. It's something I constantly battle with. Negative self-talk can really be a drag, but if you recognize it and replace it with positive self-affirmations, you can completely shift your mindset. For example, telling yourself, I can handle this. I'm learning and growing, right? Instead of why am I so stupid? I should be here. I should be further ahead. Oh, and by the way, guys, don't ever compare yourself with somebody else. If you find yourself in a period of your life where you're transitioning and you feel like, man, I should be so much further ahead than, Mike over here or John, whatever. You guys, you can't compare your life to somebody else because you can't compare your chapter 17 to their chapter 32 in a completely different book. You know what I mean? You literally... because that person has had a different life experience. Okay, number 6, serving others shift. Serving others shift. Focus on helping those in need. When you shift your attention away from your own challenges and towards serving others, it's going to create a sense of purpose and connection for you, I promise. So be on the lookout for opportunities where you can help serve someone in any way. I swear, one of the greatest highs I've ever experienced in life is helping someone in need. So remember, these tools are like your personal fog lights for navigating the transition fog, which is going to help you see a clear path forward. So, guys, share your experiences in the comments below. Which tools resonate most with you? I really would like to know. So what we also need to do is reframing the challenges in life. And the reality is challenges are inevitable in life, but they don't have to be roadblocks, and it doesn't have to be negative. They can be stepping stones. Just like in my situation, struggling to find a job after moving really forced me to develop new skills and become a more effective networker. Ultimately, it landed me in a better opportunity. And there is a lesson to be learned in every struggle. One thing that my mom told me that is one of the most profound things she always said, and it's so simple, but there's a silver lining in everything. Like, how can I look at this situation and try to find where I can grow from it? Like, what's the positive from the situation? It's all about life. Is all about perspective, guys. There is a lesson to be learned in every struggle. It's just about how you look at it. So now I just kind of want to talk about how I applied these tools in my own situation. So with the gratitude anchor, every morning I'd start the day by listing things I was thankful for, big or small. It could be a warm bed, going for a sunset walk on the beach, or even just having a roof over my head and being with a loving family. This simple practice shifted my focus from what I lacked to what I possessed. And really, guys, focusing on gratitude during even a difficult job search helped keep me motivated. So rekindling your spark. I reconnected with activities I used to love. I started jogging outside again, going on little hikes, feeling that energy surge with every step that I took. I also rediscovered my passion for writing, really being able to just pour my thoughts and experiences onto paper. Seeking spiritual connection. During this time, I made it a priority to carve out time for quiet reflection. Sometimes I journal, meditate, or simply escape to nature. Really just disconnecting from the city's chaos during this period of time helped me reconnect with myself and gain that clarity that I needed. I also found solace in seeking a connection with God through prayer, reading scripture, and spending time reflecting on nature's beauty. It really provided a sense of grounding and helped me feel connected to something much larger than myself. I asked God for help where I needed it, for me to strip away addictions I was dealing with, to light my path. And with a job search, when I'm applying to 5 different jobs at a time and I'm in the interview process with multiple different companies, traveling, I said, God, close the doors that aren't meant for me and open the ones that are. And he answered my prayers. Self-care. I started eating healthier, hitting the gym more, spending time in nature, prioritizing rest and recovery for myself, and really just making sure that I was getting plenty of sleep every night. And then silencing the inner critic. So I recognize and challenge that negative self-talk. Like, I can handle this, I tell myself, and really just replacing the negativity with self-compassion affirmations. And again, this is an ongoing battle, but it's a fight worth having. And with serving others, I actively look for opportunities to help other people. I don't like talking about how I'm helping people, but I wanted to share with you guys. I hate when people publicize how they're helping people all the time. Like, I think it kind of just defeats the purpose, but really just want to share with you guys, whether it's a small act of kindness, guys, or maybe you're volunteering somewhere, the feeling of serving a greater purpose is truly rewarding. So ultimately, For me, while my faith played a significant role in my journey, the definition of, meaning and purpose differs for everyone. And so I encourage you to really discover what ignites that joy and fulfillment within you. This could be dedicating more time to your hobbies, nurturing relationships, maybe finally starting that business you've been thinking about for months now, but you just haven't taken any action on it. Maybe you're just contributing to a cause you care deeply about. Now, I want to debunk the glorification of hustle culture. People bragging about working 18, 20-hour days, sleeping 4 to 6 hours a night. Not cool. Absolutely, I believe in hard work. There are times in life when pushing yourself is necessary. And actually, by the way, every single day you should be pushing yourself. However, prioritizing adequate rest is absolutely crucial. Otherwise, you're going to risk burnout, forcing your body to take a break anyway. Literally, that's what's going to happen. So we look at life where it's a marathon, but it's also a sprint at the same time. Embrace those periods of time where you have downtime. So if you're going through a transition period, you have more time in your hands. Work hard, do all these things that I'm talking about, but also embrace downtime. If you find yourself in a slower time, that's why I'm saying that it's important to really reconnect with that spiritual side, because embracing the downtime will really help you to recharge and gain a fresh perspective. So again, guys, back to, helping other people. I'm going to dive into the ripple effect of kindness. There is truth in the saying, what goes around comes around. And during my transition, I discovered the profound impact of helping others. Grand gestures aren't always required, and sometimes it's just the simplest acts will hold the most power. Perhaps it's striking up a conversation with someone that's lonely on the bus. Maybe it's offering to help an overloaded grocery shopper, or volunteering for a local cause you're passionate about. I actually befriended a local homeless guy, nice guy, completely harmless, and I bought him some lunch and grabbed some things for him from the gas station. And honestly, today, it's Easter. I saw him today, and I thank God that he put him in my path today. I don't see him every time I'm at the beach, but I saw him today, and man, it just felt so good to be able to help him out. Every time I see him, I'll just briefly chat with him and, give him whatever I have on me or buy him some food. It just makes me feel really, really good. And the reality is, the key is really that focusing on the well-being of others is going to create a ripple effect. It not only benefits them, but also fills you with a deep sense of connection and purpose. It transforms from giving back to experiencing the joy of human connection. So the next time you have the opportunity to lend a hand, no matter how big or small, just remember the positive impact it can have, not just on others, but on yourself as well. Now, we want to always embrace solitude. Embrace solitude to recharge and reconnect. Solitude is hands down one of the most essential aspects of personal growth, because our mind is like a monkey. There's always crazy stuff going on in our mind, and when we can be in solitude and learn to quiet our mind and even just process what we're thinking about, like really just self-reflection, understanding your core self, it's through solitude and self-reflection that you're really going to understand your core self. So you have to make sure that you schedule time for yourself, even if it's just 15 minutes a day. Journal, meditate, and just sit in quiet reflection. I guarantee that both the hidden gems about yourself and the path in front of you are going to surprise you. Imagine yourself as a phone. Spending time alone is like plugging yourself in. You have the space to unwind, focus on your interests, and gain energy. It's literally a conscious choice you make to return to the world feeling refreshed and ready to connect. Loneliness, on the other hand, is a depleted battery. It is a state of exhaustion. It's like your phone being completely drained, unable to connect or function properly. So without the recharge of meaningful connections and self-care, loneliness can leave you feeling isolated and drained, unable to fully engage with the world around you. Now, solitude. In solitude, you have the freedom to dive deep within. It's a quiet space for self-reflection where you can strip away external noise and truly listen to your inner voice. You can't find yourself in anyone else. The introspection can be transformative. You can't find yourself in anyone else. Introspection allows you to connect the dots looking back on your experiences, recognize patterns, and uncover your core values and passions. As Steve Jobs famously said, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. This approach has never let me down, and it's made all the difference in my life. Looking back, my period of solitude during that challenging job search was a gift. In that quiet space, I reconnected with my passion for writing, which was something that was dormant for a while, for many years. Completely neglected it. And it wasn't until I slowed down and looked inward that I realized how much I truly craved a creative outlet. This introspection also led me to reassess my values. Financial security was important, but it wasn't everything. And I craved purposeful work that aligned with my passions. And it's really when this period of time I started my YouTube channel to actually start consistently putting videos out because I want to serve you guys. Discovering your purpose is not a sudden revelation. Sometimes it's a gradual process that's unveiled through self-reflection during times of solitude. This newfound sense of purpose can be a guiding light during transitions, helping you navigate uncertainty and make choices aligned with your core values. Now, I will be diving more into discovering your purpose in other videos, but I want to say discovering your purpose, think about what you naturally have an inclination towards. What do you naturally like? What are you naturally good at? Are you good at math? Are you good at science? Do you like history? Like, what is it? And then you find a way to take what you're naturally good at and what you naturally like and make an impact by serving other people. That's how it happens. So there's two things that can make or shatter any difficult life change. There's a call to live and thrive hidden behind the suffering, not just getting by. Here's the brutal truth, guys. I had to give up my need for control and let go. Surrender myself to my higher power, God. What now, you ask? Your future, guys, can't be just winged. You can't just wing it. So, two keys. Self-honesty. The key to owning your path and community. The first pillar is self-honesty, which is the reflection of introspection. And one powerful question to unearth your truth is, how did I contribute to getting here? Until you take responsibility for the path that brought you to this point, you can't truly own the way ahead. How did I contribute to being here? Now, community, lifting each other up. The second pillar is community. During tough times, we all need support. The ideal community is built on people who love you enough to challenge your beliefs. Genuine connection means surrounding yourself with individuals who care enough to question your assumptions and admit when you're wrong. They offer necessary truths, not just what you want to hear to make you feel better. Being surrounded by narrow-minded individuals is only going to limit you. Conversely, people with a growth mindset can elevate you. Now, you might be surprised by how much your environment will shape you. I can tell you right now, I know you've heard the quote, you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This could be people you are physically around or talking to on a regular basis. It could also include what you are feeding your mind. For example, if I'm always listening to someone's drama in my life, then I am allowing that into my life to contaminate my life. If I'm always watching the mainstream news, I'm going to be pretty anxious, right? So which of your life's commitments are you neglecting because you convince yourself everything will work out, or that it can wait? Think about this, guys. Like, if you are overweight and you've been putting off going to the gym and working out, putting off eating healthy, and you know that you should start getting back into the gym. Or if you've been vaping and you know that you need to quit. You need to quit. Like, you keep telling yourself that you need to quit, but you've been putting it off. Or maybe you need to get yourself out of debt and start chipping away and you haven't gone to your finances yet. Which of your life's commitments are you neglecting because you convince yourself everything will work out or that it can wait? We have to take action, guys. We have to take action, even just a little bit at a time. Maybe you're listening to this right now and you know you struggle with porn and it makes you feel ashamed. Like, maybe your eating habits keep getting worse. Maybe you're just putting off the gym. Maybe you know that you need to leave that relationship. Maybe you need to cut back on the weed and the alcohol. Maybe it's the job that you hate, you know? Don't procrastinate on anything that's gnawing at you. The warning signs that we often ignore eventually lead to unforeseen changes. So don't let that be you. Will you have the courage to examine your role in your current situation when the next transition arrives? When the next transition arrives, even if it's difficult, face it head on. Use these transition periods as opportunities for growth. To find the truths you most need to understand, you have to look within yourself and to others. Allow changes to transform you. And remember, navigating life transitions is a journey. It's not a destination. So embrace the power of solitude for self-discovery. Prioritize rest for rejuvenation. And cultivate a community that lifts you up. With self-honesty and a willingness to learn, you can not only survive transitions, but thrive during them. So, to recap here, guys, life is going to throw you curveballs. But you can learn to reframe challenges as opportunities for growth. Find your source of meaning and purpose, whatever that may be, and use these tools that we discuss: gratitude, reflection, spiritual connection, daily exercise, proper rest, and serving others to navigate the fog of transition. Speaking of quitting vaping, I made a video on that recently. Check it out. Hit that subscribe button to stay tuned. And if you know someone right now that's going through a transition, if you found this helpful at all, please share this with them because it might just help. And until next time.